can be heard. What's good? What's good? Let me just set this angle right quick. That should work. I am not sure if I will have any visitors on today's live, but regardless, if you do happen to watch this after the fact, thank you for rolling through. What's that noise? All right, well, I don't know what that is. Let's hope I can get started. Testing, testing. Testing, testing. All right. I don't know what is up with the sound, but I am going to get started because I gotta get my nails done. So I am going to have to mute myself. But anywho, if you're on this, thank you so much for joining me. I need to get these nails done. They are looking like trash. It's been a moment since I've taken some time to do some nail care. And if you were with me on my last live, I think these were the ones that I did. So trying to be consistent, but also this needs to get done. So I hope you join me on this, and thank you so much for tuning in. If you want to leave a comment, I believe I could see the chat so I can respond if I don't type fast enough. Forgive me, and also please keep it respectful if you are here. I would appreciate that. All right, so let's get this on the road. When you start any nail process, first thing you always want to do, spray your hands with rubbing alcohol. You can use anywhere from 90% to 99%. Try not to go lower than 70% though, because it's not really going to do much to help sanitize or sterilize your hands, okay? So always start with using some alcohol to sterilize. Wash your hands too, that would be helpful. All right, we're gonna run into this. First thing you always do too, push your cuticles back, okay? That's gonna free up some space on your nail bed, and it's also going to give you the space that needs to be cleaned, basically the most, which harbors the most amount of dead skin. So you give that a push back. You don't gotta be rough, gentle with it, okay? Love yourself. Oh yeah, y'all get to watch me do my non-dominant hand. I am right-handed, so this is not normal for me. Even if I do my own nails on a regular, this does not help being, oh look, maybe you can see that if I put it up real quick. That whiteness right there, that's dead skin that will need to be cleaned, and that's why, again, you do the pushback, all right? So you can get to that. I'm using a wooden pusher because one, it has a good flat edge and it's easy to be used. You don't have to hurt yourself, you don't have to cut nothing, and it's only a one-person use. Also, the other end is a point, so when you gotta clean up underneath your nails, it's a nice little something to use. Or if you gotta get into a corner, it's a nice little something to use. Fully accessible, easy to find, and okay to buy. All right, hold on 1 second here. Forgive me, I am just trying to. All right. So again, here's hoping you can hear me. If you can hear me and you could put it in the chat, I would appreciate it, just because again, I can't really hear. So next up, I'm gonna be using an electric file. It's actually right here. I've had this one for a long time. You don't have to use this. You could do this with a regular file. However, I am using an electric one because it's just faster for process. When you turn this on, depending on what you have, I have acrylic over my natural nails. So I'm not going to be doing anything too heavy in terms of drilling deep down. I just need to keep it light because I don't have thick acrylic on my fingers, on my nails. And those are my natural nails, so it's important to not hurt yourself in this process. So I'm going to start just by removing the existing acrylic. And as you can see, it doesn't take long to do. It's a really quick process. And more or less, I've basically just taken off everything that's there and gone down to my natural nail. I don't need to dwell on it for too long, quick and easy. Turn this down a little. I use a dust fan because it helps to keep the dust low. And it helps to keep it out my lungs. Usually I have a mask on. Right now I don't. It's just hanging up beside me. But I'm just coming through with this ceramic drill bit. Now mind you, because it's ceramic, it doesn't necessarily cut, but it can hurt you. So you gotta take it easy, okay? We use it to shape. Look, you see that skipping? Don't let that happen. That's gonna scare you or somebody. All right. But you could use a ceramic bit. It's like using a stainless steel or a carbide or a diamond bit. Difference with this one is not really set prone to cut, but you do have to be mindful of how you are using it. Again, there's not much to really remove here, and I'm only removing from the acrylic. I'm not removing from the nail plate that's already grown out because there's really nothing to remove. All right, so come through. When you're doing your own nails, you might have to turn it in different angles. You might have to turn your hands different kind of ways. Don't feel no ways about it. It's not always going to be the same. It's not always going to be perfect. You got to work in a manner that's best for you. And that's really all you can do. All right, so I'm going to come through. Also, removal should not take a long time because unless you have really thick, long nails, I mean, you're literally just coming through and scratching the surface to get that off, especially if you're just giving yourself a refill. You can see right there, I still got glitter on the tip of that nail, and that's from previous acrylic that I've used that I haven't taken off. Also, sometimes if you find you got lifting in any of your spaces, and that just happens over time, if either the product wasn't applied properly or the product wasn't good, or you had dust before you put the product on and it just didn't adhere right. If that happens, then that will also cause lifting for your nails, okay? Alright, my stupid cord keeps getting stuck. This is one of the reasons why people like to use cordless drills, is it just makes life easier. It can happen. Don't let it kill your buzz. Just fix it and move on. All right, time to laugh at me. All right. If you in here and you are from whatever city, I want to know where you're watching me from. Give me a holler. Let me know in the comment if you can. And also, ooh, I hope I don't do nothing there. If you look right here, you'll see there's a crack in that nail. If you watched my last one, I had to redo my nails because I cracked this in the first place. So here it is, basically. And it's time to, it's grown upwards, but it hasn't broken any further, so it's still safe. So I could basically just bring it down and refill it, and it's still going to be okay. I'm going to let the crack grow out. I'm not going to try to do anything to break it further. I'm just going to let it take its natural course and grow out. Now again, I'm not good with my non-dominant hand. As you can see here, this is kind of a joke, but it is what it is. And truthfully, no matter how many times you do it, it's always like starting over until you get like the hang of it. So don't be afraid to work on the hand that you're not used to working with, your opposite hand, or your non-dominant hand. You'll get the hang of it. And also just take your time. Maybe put the speed just a little bit slower. And remember, whenever you run the e-file, you're not rubbing it to dig down in your nail. You're rubbing it just gently across the surface top like this. Let the e-file do the work. All right. I'm going to file that one shorter. I am also hoping that my live feed doesn't cut out because there is a thunderstorm happening outside and it is not very pretty. There was also a gas leak in my neighborhood today that basically shut everything down. Everybody was hunkered in. You could still smell it in the air. I guess these things happen. One thing also, when you're using an e-file, it's important to steady your hand. Don't be coming out here all unbalanced trying to tackle your nails. Balance your hand. As you can see, I'm using the side of my fan to rest my hand so I can come through gently like this. But again, rest your hand, balance your hand out so that you have somewhere to stabilize yourself so you don't whop and wobble all over the place. I'm not able to check the sound, so I really am hoping that it's improved. If it hasn't, I apologize to you. Um, I don't know what happened. I'm learning this live thing as I go. This is my second live ever. And sometimes it's just a matter of playing with your options. And also, I think it's time for a new phone because for real, y'all, this iPhone 10R is it's had its time. It's been 5+ years. I think I'm ready for a newbie. So as you can see, I'm not going on my natural nail with this bad boy. It's strictly on top of where that acrylic was laid. And it's only to just remove the surface layer and just reduce it just a little bit for a fresh application. This is the nail I hate the most, yo. Alright. Sometimes I feel like I'd be doing acrobatics just to get this hand because you can't let it rest for too long. Messed up. Anybody watching, do you do your own nails? And if you do, how do you like to do your nails? Leave me a comment. I'm curious to know, with everybody trying to save a dollar in this economy, I am very curious to know what people are out here doing, for real, for real. Or if you'd like to learn, is that something that you want to take on? Or is it something you like to just be pampered and have done for you? What's everyone saying on the nail front? Yes, you can see there, this bad boy also has a crack. And I'm not going to get rid of it because I'm just going to fill it in. What's up, RX Nails? 4 years ago, for real. That's, let me see, I started 2018, so I'm just a couple years over you. But yeah, that's around the time I started, 2018. Why did you start though? That's my question. Why did you start doing nails? Because I'm telling you, like, it's not even about the money thing. I think it was just more, I really enjoyed doing it. I had always done my nails, but then I was like, well, if I'm paying these people, I could do it myself. All right, so I've more or less taken off any of the old acrylic that was on my nail. So my next step is going to be to clean out my cuticle area. And I'm going to do this with a drill bit. It's a little tiny baby one. I don't run it at a high speed, but I do use it to clean my cuticles because I get really chappy corners, like you can see right there, and I find using a bit like this helps me to clean that mess out. So again, I don't really run this at a high speed, and I just come around like this and clean that back area. And notice that the file, the bit, is flat to my nail. This is a diamond bit, a diamond bit, so it doesn't cut, meaning the way that it's designed, it's not intended to cut your nails. So even if you touch your skin like this, it won't hurt you. Doesn't mean you're not careful though. But yeah, I like doing nails still. It's therapeutic for me, especially when I do it for others, for clients. I feel like it's one of those therapy sessions where people could just come in, rest their head, let me pamper them for a moment, and then, you know, sometimes they want to talk about things. And I don't know, like, about you guys, but sometimes, like, you get in your own head when you're doing things thinking it has to look like how somebody else is doing it. It doesn't. It just needs to be done properly, and it needs to be done at your pace if you're doing your own nails. And also, if you don't practice, it's not going to get better. Because this is one thing where practice, practice, practice is not a joke thing. You got to do it, or else you won't, you know, improve your skill. So you can see I'm using this bit just to go around the cuticle area. I'm going to go back in the other direction, which is why you don't see me fussing too much in this side and this corner. But this also helps you push back the cuticle a little bit. So you use the wooden stick to do it first, then you can come back through and do it with this to get that extra clean. You can also use this like to remove a little bit of that extra shine if it's still there. Removing the shine is kind of how you know you got the product, got through the product. So remember, you usually use a shiny top coat when you're using a gel polish. So, salon shut down for COVID. Did my nails once I started doing my friend's nails, and everyone wanted me to do this. You quit your job for real? Dang, you go, sis. Listen, it's a business. People, listen, I'm a lot older than a lot of folks, so people used to think back in my day this was not real work. This was like, you know, I guess you could call it immigrant people work, but it wasn't. It was like, it was always about the passion. So many famous people are nail tech. Sean Legend, I think his name is like famous for those Kardashian people, and even J-Lo and all of that. Claude Gasnick, she's out in the UK. I don't know if she's doing celebrities, but yo, that girl has a network like nobody's business. Shout her out. What up, Chantel? Love you, girl. She has a whole entire nail network for teaching. She's fantabulous, but it's like a business. Like, people don't realize it's care. It's like hair and makeup, right? All right, so I came through in one direction. I'm gonna switch back and go in the other real quick. And all I'm doing is just coming back through and cleaning this other side very gently. But no, make your money, honey. Do your job, do your thing, do your thing, do your thing. Because if they don't go to you, they'll go to somebody else. Only thing I would say is make sure you learn to do like, make sure you understand like sanitation and sterilization and virus and disease and them kind of things. Study that. That's important, because then you'll know how to take care of people if something should happen to them. Like when you're caring for an appointment, or you know, if you got a client and you cut their cuticle by accident, there's ways you can deal with it. But study that part. Study funguses, because you got to know how to identify a fungus. If somebody comes to you, you don't want to work on that because it can spread to other people if you use the same tools. This is why they say don't share tools. So let's say, for example, you came through and you had a fungus, and I used a tool and I didn't clean it, and I used it on the next person. That person is getting that fungus. No questions asked. And there's no exceptions to that rule. Or if you have there's a commercial where a guy has a foot fungus and the doctor's telling him you need to get it treated, because if not, you can spread it to your wife even in the bed. This is my cruddiest of cruddy nails. This is the cruddiest nail. It's always been that way. I don't know what it is. It grows weird. It's always the first one to break. I damaged it when I was younger playing basketball. It ain't never been the same. I'm sure everybody got that one nail. What's up, Riri EXO? What's up? How are you? And welcome to my live, and thank you for joining. I never even got to ask y'all, what cities are you guys from, yo? I would like to know that as well. What city is everybody from? Another thing too, when you're doing nails, not everybody wants to do. I had a lot of corporate clients, and not everybody in corporate can do long and glam. You know, everybody has to kind of keep a little bit of a business professional. So that for sure, changed how I do nails. I don't really focus on fake nails. I do more natural nail work. You got your license, yup. That's the best way to do it. What state are you in? Because I know if you're in America, that is, sorry. I don't want to assume, but every state I know has different licensing rules. I'm in Canada. We have different licensing rules. Yes, y'all, don't tell nobody I'm from Drake City. Shh. I see that, people. Um, but I'm curious to know what your licensing process was in the state that you're in, because again, everybody has to do something different. I know I've seen some people out here that offer courses. Courses don't always equal license. Courses might equal certificate, might, and that depends on who you pay, because people be charging astronomical prices for courses. Boston in the house. Go ahead, champions. Wait, was it y'all that just won? Or was it Milwaukee? I can't remember. Alright, so I know this ain't looking very smooth. And also, you don't have. Oh, I don't know if I told y'all, I got OCD, so I'm a little bit anal when it comes to certain things. So part of my process has been learning to let go of perfection, because otherwise I would like be doing this for hours to make sure it's all perfectly even. So part of this process that's therapeutic for me is learning to let things go, meaning it doesn't have to be perfect. And when you're working with these tools, turn your fingers in different directions. Don't just turn it in one way and think it's going to catch. Different angles will determine, or different angles will allow the file to oh, Louisiana, all the way down there. Girl, send me some Creole. There's some gumbo. I'm hungry. All right. Dust it off. Next, I am jumping on board to use my sanding band. I talk about the sanding band all the time. The sanding band is the alternative or the equivalent to a nail file. The only difference is you use it on your electric file. And what do I always say you gotta do when you're using a sanding band? Dull that ish down. Okay? Because you don't want to be cutting yourself or nobody up in the spot. So, what you do is you take your sanding band, and people don't realize this stuff is sharp. So, when you come in with this and you go right into this space, if you don't dull that out, if people have very fragile cuticle lines, they will bleed in a heartbeat. So, as I always say, just give it a quick run through, dull it out. And also, this does not need to be run at a high speed. If you find you're running this at a high speed, like right now, I don't even have it like set close to like a 3, right? If you run this at a high speed, you run the risk of burning yourself. Please don't do that, y'all. It's not nice. Okay? Don't do that to yourself. So, what I'm gonna do now is just go over gently with the whole entire surface, including where I just finished, because I'm just going to make sure it's all cleaned off. And sometimes you would use this to like what they call like clean up the surface, right? Because if I'm gonna be laying down new products, I want to be absolutely certain all the old stuff is off, as well as prepping it for new stuff. And I can't do that if there's old stuff. So do your nails. Oh, well, depending on who watching. Tomorrow's y'all presidential debate. Aren't you going to be watching that? Because I don't want to ask who you're voting for. That's not my business. But y'all have a very important election coming up, and it affects us up here in Canada. So, just make the right choice. I don't know what that is, but make the right choice. But that would be cool. If you did, I'll do my best to tune in. For sure, for sure. When you get OCD, sometimes you can, okay, when you do your own nails, sometimes this prep process can get tedious and then it takes a lot of time. And the thing is, it's not supposed to. It's supposed to be quick. Well, not speedy, just quick. Meaning, you shouldn't be spending a super amount of time doing this because you more or less have done this already when you did the removal. So remember when I came in and I did the removal with the ceramic bit, you didn't see me go down this area with the ceramic bit, and that's because it's not to be used on your natural nail. So when you come through with this carbide bit, sanding band, arbor band, then you go over the full entire surface one time. And then that's basically essentially ensuring the surface is clean. See how I have a little tiny bit of lift right there? I'm just dusting, and that takes it right off. Soak off Gel X. Sorry for delayed response. Oh, don't worry, girl. I'm doing my nails. I'm trying to read and do nails. This is hard. Soaking off Gel X. No, I didn't. You got a vote, girl. Come on. Nah, do your nails off. Pass the state. 600 classroom hours. Oh, snap. Okay. Depending on where you go, so up here in Canada, it's not necessarily a requirement to have a license, but it's a requirement to be a professional. So I don't know how that works. You can run a business without one, but you run the risk of having challenges down the line because, again, you don't know the sanitation side of it, and this is messing with people's bodies and stuff. You can seriously hurt someone, and the last thing you want is to be responsible for giving anybody any kind of disease. And yes, I'm talking stuff as simple as a fungus or as serious as AIDS. I mean, maybe I should say HIV, the virus. Hepatitis one is a big one too. I've seen people get hepatitis from the nail salon. You'd be surprised, so be careful out there. You'll notice every time I finish a hand, I come through and I dust, because dust gotta go. But you see how it's all clean now? Cuticle inside is clean, surface is clean. So this is ready for a new application. The only thing I gotta do is shape it up a little bit. What's MA? Massachusetts? No, wait, hold on. No, wait. Massachusetts. I can't. Oh my gosh, you live in the place I can't say. Mm, don't laugh. Okay, this is gonna be a funny one for anybody that's on the live. Okay, I can't say certain words, and the state where Riri XO lives, me can't say that. So don't laugh. But me get you. You're in the MA. You're in the Boston. I used to actually work for a company that had a home base in Boston, so we were actually out there all the time. It's nice out there still, but interesting demographic of folks, especially in them college towns. Just saying. All right, so I'm just coming through and cleaning out the surface, making sure there's no lifting. If there is, I get it. Did y'all watch the Kendrick pop-out concert? Because you know I did, right? Hmm. Where your boyfriend family live at? What? Y'all coming? Come to Carabana in August. Have you guys been? Where? Tell me where they at, and then that way I could be like, yo, come through, and then we can meet. Like, oh my God, we met on YouTube. Now we're in person, and it's possible to meet the people of the world. I'm a bit of a cheese ball, y'all. Again, I apologize. I can't hear my own sound, so I don't. I hope it's not horrible. When I started, there was like a buzzing, something or another. Again, I believe it's just because it's time for me to really replace this iPhone. So I apologize if it's there, but I'll figure it out. Trying to get those. I'm trying to get myself monetized so I can afford a new phone. Yes, don't laugh. It's the truth. Living on Indian reservation. Oh, so they're reserve friends. Okay. Well, we have quite a few of those because, as you know, First Nations is our First Nations. So he probably has minimal contact. That means people visit the reserves though. But I just feel bad for some of how some of the like reserves are people are like treated, and there's lack of resources and there's no full. I can get into a whole story, but it's just the whole residential school things. Like, I mean, everybody talks about the situations that happened in the past, slavery, colonization, all of them things. But it's really sad because these are the land, the people, the land's people. Like, how do you do the land's people so cook us? But it's a whole another story, yo. Oh, y'all might get to see me repair this nail. I might do an extension. All right. So this one's done, and now I hope my vantage point is all right. Yeah, because you can't just come up into a reservation unless it's like one with a shop, like where people them live. You can't just roll up and enter. That's sacred land. You either got to be invited or some kind of something. But I mean, I don't blame them, to be honest. People just trying to live. All right. I would say if you're ever doing this, just know the most important thing is to make sure you clean off that dust and don't overdo it. As you practice, you will get better. If it's not something you're used to, and take your time and learn properly because you don't want to be doing trash nails on yourself. You can hurt yourself too. I don't know if you guys noticed if you were watching from when I started using this on this hand till now, the difference in how I am able to kind of manage is kind of like my muscle memory kicked in and I remember, oh yeah, this is how you use the e-file with your left hand. Oh, and also, guys, I noticed like less is more, meaning gentle and soft is better than hard and fast. And no, I'm not making innuendos. I'm talking about when you are working on your nails and you are using an e-file or a regular file. Don't come at it like rough. Just be gentle. Doesn't take a lot to do what needs to get done. Simple, easy, easy. Anybody traveling for the summer? And what's up with these airlines trying to charge you for carry-ons too? Like what? People can't live? ridiculous, man. You guys are gonna see me mash up this nail only to rebuild it. Because at this point, all right. That part's done. Oops. All right. Next, I am just going to. Ooh, here we go. See? Canada! I am going to shape my nails. I am going to use a short file because I'm too lazy to go get a long one. And it's what I had in the drawer. And it's proof that you can just use whatever you have to do what you gotta do. But you just saw me dull the file, and that was because I don't want to cut myself, because again, it's brand new. Because I don't really have to do too much with my shaping, I'm legit just going to gently glide it along each side. If you want to make your nails narrow, when you're filing, don't file like this. File like this to make it narrow, not like this. That'll make it too wide, okay? It's a tip for you if you didn't know. I'm also not fussy about like my nail shape. It doesn't have to be perfect all the time. They don't all have to be exactly the same. I think for me, what's most important is like they're clean, they look good, and they match as best they can, but they're not always going to be like that, and that doesn't bother me. No traveling. I'm going to be going to water park in July to celebrate. Which water park do you do? Like Great Wolf Lodge and those type of places? Yo, I haven't been there in years, but that place was fun, dude. I loved it. Okay, that's me shaping my nails right now because I'm going to have to do it again. So this is kind of the pre-shape. Again, dust, dust, dust. Get all of that crap off. All right, and you can laugh at me some more because I'm doing the non-dominant hand. I think I'm going to use blush acrylic because it has a little bit of a glitter in it. I think I want some shimmer and shine. I also am too lazy sometimes to put polish on my nails, so I use whatever the finish is after the acrylic is usually how it stays with a top coat. When I say you can use just a file if you don't have an e-file, this is what I mean. You can do the same thing I was doing with an e-file, but like this, with a hand file. And you're just gonna go across the surface to clean up that area. Has anyone seen Diane? I've been looking for her. I hope she's all right. Again, you can see it's not perfect, but I don't care. Because my nails still don't look cute. Okay. There's no point in even doing this. I'm just going to quickly clean it because I'm going to just shape it and add a new one. Or add a tip. Sorry, I'm going to create a tip. So that's the thing. I don't like to use false nail tips or gel tips or anything like that, but I will do an extension on my nail. Meaning I will create the tip using acrylic or gel versus using a actual tip. Alright, so see how sad this poor nail looks? I'm gonna fix it, don't worry. so that's all done. After that process, I am going to use this product to quickly clean the excess dust off my nails. If you want to use something, you can use like an alcohol acetone mix, like 1 part acetone, 2 parts alcohol. And again, it's just to clean up the nail. Clean up the nail and allow it to be dry so it doesn't have the any dust or whatnot, so that the product can hold. Okay. All right. I also, prior to applying any product, put this on my nails. It's called Protein Bond. I will be the first person to tell you I do not product promote on my channel. And the reason your girl does not product promote on my channel is because them fools don't pay me, okay? And don't get me wrong, if somebody asks me what I'm using, I will not hesitate to tell them. But I will be damned if I am out here talking about anybody else's stuff when, again, they ain't paying me. So, if you ever want to know what I use, leave a comment. I will answer for you. I do buy products that are sold by professional companies, but with some of the way things have changed with COVID, some of these people, what's up, Nails by Cindy? How are you? With the way things happen with COVID, they just let everybody buy products, so sometimes you can get the professional stuff for the same or less or a reasonable cost. I am just getting all of my tools together. Here is my pretty little brush. This is what I use to apply my acrylic. Again, I'm just gonna go through real quick. Once I apply the protein bond, I don't like to get nothing else. Your hometown is Houston. What up, Houston? I got a cousin that lives in Dallas. Actually, when y'all come on any of my videos or hear me talk, you'll hear me flip in and out between all these different style of accents. Forgive me, okay? I am Canadian born. I am Jamaican and Guyanese background. However, my father lived in Atlanta, Georgia for 20 plus years. I've been in the deep south since like 86. So sometimes that country be coming out, so I get it. Pass me a sweet tea and we can get it. Hey. All right. Let me get this on the road. Here's a tip. This is my nail liquid. If you don't do acrylic, this doesn't apply to you. But if you do, if you want this to work best, make sure you heat it up a little bit. Don't make it hot, but heat it up. Warm acrylic liquid, nail liquid, will improve the dry time and the dry capacity on your application. So it won't take as long to dry and you can move faster through the process. All right, so I'm gonna come through and apply the protein bond. Again, I've been using this stuff for years. I find it just helps with the product to adhere better or adhere nicely It doesn't damage my natural nail. It just gives it more life, if anything. You can use it under gel and acrylic. Um, nails by Cindy. How long you been doing nails, honey? I've been asking that too. Um, so you could put it under acrylic or gel. And again, it doesn't, it's almost okay. You know, when you use primer or bonder under acrylic, like that's what used to be used back in the day. This is kind of like that, but a better, I don't want to say healthier version because there's no real thing, but it's a nicer version than the other stuff. But again, do what works for you. It's just about making sure that you don't just apply something straight direct to the nail without a barrier. This is just the barrier between the product and your natural nail. I'm not a pro. You don't need to be a pro. Listen, nail love is nail love. Once you get the bug, you know. Like all it took was probably that first little cute design or those first little cute Frenchies or that nice little pink and white set, and you were like, I'm hooked. I'm in. Or Halloween time came around and you went with an all black goth. Nail love is a different kind of thing. If you get it, you get it. But sometimes some people appreciate it. Some people they don't understand what really goes into those beautiful nails they say they want. Because it's not just about what's on the surface, right? It's also about what you eat. Girl, 2020, everybody got to start somewhere. I started in 2018 and I became a pro as a result. So I'm just saying, you go. All right, so I applied the protein bond. Now I'm going to apply the acrylic. I'm just overlaying my natural nails. I'm not doing nothing fancy. I'm not doing no special build outs, but I am using this very, 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 very beautiful powder. And when I apply acrylic to my nails, again, it's a very light application. And remember when I said be soft with your touch? This is what I'm talking about. You don't need to be pressing down hard. Just go very gentle. I don't believe in using beads and them thing that. I literally just pop it on and kind of gauge it by how it applies. And then I will let it spread or I'll spread it myself. Either way, it's going down. You want to make sure you apply it so it catches on your sides. You don't want to apply too little. You don't want to apply too much. You don't want it to be too runny and you don't want it to be dry or it won't spread. So find that balance. Again, it's going to take practice. All right, you see how mine isn't running and I'm kind of like just moving it with the brush. And that's essentially me just laying it over. Some people will do an overlay and you'll see it run down. And also, if you don't flatten the back perfect like this with the brush, it's okay because when you come back with the e-file, you're gonna seal that corner. You're gonna seal that back cuticle area. You're gonna seal that with the e-file. All right, so there we go. Simple application right on top of the natural nail. And that's essentially what an overlay on your natural nail will look like. I like to work in smaller increments rather than bigger ones. And I just find using smaller amounts lets me do my layers thinner. And I'm not a person that likes to work with bulk because I'd rather um, add more than take off. But sometimes you can't help it. It just happens. What color are you gonna do for your toes? What's that famous color? Is it lollipop? Something lollipop. Or some baby, I don't know. Like a nice white soft color. Kind of like the acrylic I'm using actually. this is called like a reverse lay or a reverse application. And I do that when I want it to get onto the edge. See there? I want it to get onto my edge. Now, because this is my natural nail, my apex area is right here. This is what's going to be needing to have the most strength. Or if I bang it, it will crack right in that area. That's a high stress area. So you always make sure when you apply acrylic, you apply it to the high stress area, but you angle it so that it comes um, down on this end, but down on this end. So almost like an arch. That's what, when you hear people say apex, that's what that is. It's the arch. So you got to always have that little arch because you can't have length without strength. And you can't have strength without that arch. Think of a bridge, but not the one that went down the other day in that spot. No disrespect. And rest in peace to anybody that died. I feel like that was in Boston. Madness. And if you do happen to apply too much, don't stress it because remember, you are going to you're going to be finished filing it so you can remove the extra bulk. I'm also just going to apply a little bit more to my sides here because I have a tendency of always making them too soft or too not supported. So I'm just going to rub that in, glide it out. So another thing working with acrylic, you see how I'm wiping my brush on this paper? Always make sure you're wiping your brush on a clean spot. Don't overdo it in the same spot because it's going to build up and it will get stuck in your brush and it won't be nice. Everything will just stick together. So I added the acrylic, very light bead. I always, you know what I like to do, or what I like, how I like to call it, I would say, like my slip surface. So when you're doing gel, you know, you apply a base coat. When I apply my first layer of acrylic, it's usually a very thin layer that I would like equate to being like a base coat. And then I would build from there. See how it's not running and going nowhere? So I'm just literally patting it side to side. And then I'm just gonna run it down to kind of close it out. Ooh, no, 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 no. I'm not even sure because I'm kind of reading and talking at the same time. So I might have asked you, I don't even know. I'll have to do a watch back. um, but yeah, so I like to use thinner applications rather than thicker applications. It's just my preference. I know people will say, oh, um, you know, I use one bead method, two bead method. You're going to hear that when you hear people talk about acrylic. And essentially, it's just how they apply their acrylic down. And for me, there's no bead. As you can see, it's a small little, look at that, small little mush piece. And I'm just going to take it and go into my corner, press it down into that side, and then I'm going to wipe it out. But I'm not pressing hard because look, I didn't take it out. I built that little edge in that corner. And also watch both sides. Don't just build up on one side, watch both sides so you don't miss angling one or the other. Or you don't want it to be short on one side and not the other. All right, there we go. And if it looks a little bit out of shape, don't stress it because you're going to come back and shape it up anyway because you still got to finish that file out. So it can look a little bit off, but try to keep it as much to the shape of the nail as possible. But sometimes it will go out and that's okay. Just means you'll have to do more filing on the back end. Let me just put a little bit more towards the tip. All right. See how it's looking very bulky? I'm not stressing it because I'll come back and fix that when I'm done. Also, having a phone in your face while you're trying to do this is not very helpful. Overlays are a fantastic way to just grow your natural nails out, and still keep them protected with a little bit of a acrylic or a gel. Not everybody can grow long nails naturally. I'm not sure if Riri left. I'm working with a phone in front of my face, and then I have a computer to my side. So I just kind of check and see if anybody's chatting or if I see something move. But I'm not sure. She was here from the get go, though, so she might be out. Maybe she has something to do. I don't know. Would you recommend? 1 second, let me check that. All right. So I came through and did this side. Would you recommend overlays on an 11-year-old? It depends. Is it just to protect them from like biting their nails? If so, yes. If it's for vanity, then no. Or, you know what? It depends. And I say that because it depends on the child and their maturity. If they can handle it, then let them do it. But the problem is, if they do it to grow their nails out, and let's say they play sports or piano, or they want to do certain activities, the nails, if they're long, might hinder them from doing those activities. So it really depends on what it's for. If it's just because she's a girly girl, she wants to have her nails done, I mean, I don't say no, but you have to understand what she's doing. And I would probably start with gel before acrylic, just because maybe the nail liquid might be a little bit offensive for a young person. Like we're used to it if we get into the salons because we've been going, so we know what that smell. But for some young folks, it might be too much. But it depends on the child. Because they have to understand like what they're doing, why they're doing it, how to care for it. Because like for example, okay, I had a young person that came into my workspace, and she was playing a sport and she had injured her nail and she had long nails. And after that injury, she didn't. And so um, she was badly like she basically lost her nail because it had bent back when she was, I don't know, playing something or another. And the thing is, when we do these cute little things, we forget, oh yeah, if they're playing sports, even if it's gym at school or like a sporting event at school, and their nails are done, it might hinder their ability to participate. Even though, you know, they look cute, they might cause injuries. So it just depends on what it's the purpose. But I don't say no. You're the parent. You know your child. No one should be judging you either, because if you know your child can handle that, you know, I wouldn't say no. All right, so my first hand is overlaid. It's never perfect. I never strive for perfection because that's impossible, and my name is not God. However, if you want to. No, I'm just joking. I'm gonna have to reshape that just a little bit, but look from the sides. You see how it is? It's not too thick on any of those on any of those surfaces. It's not done over the top from underneath. It's just literally laid on top of the nail. And as I work on my next hand, this will dry. So if you're doing this for a child, I think this is okay because again, you don't have to make it thick. It could just be gentle. Like you can even go a little bit thinner if it's for maintenance or for helping with biting nails. Because I had a client that had bitten her nails and I use overlay to grow her nails out. As a matter of fact, I just posted a short asking if you prefer long, medium, or short nails. It's with a black design. That girl grew her natural nails from like well shorter than this nail. And she was a nail biter. And by the time I was done with her over the time, her nails ended up being like out to here. And that short, those are that girl's natural nails. So it's doable. She just got to understand what she's doing, and she got to be ready to care and maintain. I flipped over the sheet because, as you saw, most of the time I was wiping towards the top, and I don't want to re-wipe in the same area, so I flipped it over. Now, when I do my non-dominant hand with the acrylic, don't laugh at me because, again, it's a funny thing. I literally got to move my acrylic over to the other side because it's a funny thing. It's like the opposite side. I don't know. It's weird, y'all. But it's fun. Oh, let me get this thing too. A hand rest, okay? Because ain't nobody trying to be a hero out here, and sometimes you need to rest your hand down so that you can properly brace and lay. So I'll move it up a bit. But you know, you gotta have that rest, especially when you're doing this one, because it's hard to do this way. So have something around you to rest your hand, especially if you're not ready, like it's your non-dominant. All right, so we're gonna go on this side now. Same process with the acrylic. I'm not gonna lie, I always have the worst time with my non-dominant hand. I don't know why. It's just never the same for me when I apply. Also, you're mindful with your application because you want to make sure whether it's acrylic or gel, you're careful with how it touches your skin. Okay, you don't want to get too much of this on your skin. I'm not saying it's bad, like something's gonna happen, but some people do have allergic reactions actually, so that's something to be mindful of. But it's to apply to the nail, not the skin. Ooh, these are gonna be quick. Ooh. When you use acrylic, the good thing is you have a few minutes before it, or like, not a few minutes, but you have some time before it dries. So, I mean, if your application needs to be set in place or you need to wipe something away, it's easier to do like this. Um, when you use a gel, you have only the light will make it dry. So you can kind of play with it a bit more. But the problem with gel is density. You can't really see how it builds up. So it's hard sometimes to see that arch or to see that apex. So you have to be mindful with gel if you're not used to using it. If I'm not mistaken, in America, there's a lot of places that you can get nail products from. Oops. Well, that's not a good sign. Um, that are local, like even I think Sally's Beauty sells acrylic stuff that is usable. I've never tried the stuff on Amazon. Again, I only buy from professional companies. And the reason I do that also is because I need to know what's in my products. There is EMA and there's MMA. Don't ask me to say the long form of it. Just look it up if you don't know what it is. EMA is the product you want to use. MMA is the stuff that they use at the dentist. Yes, you heard me correct. That is the stuff that is used at the dentist, and some places use it in your nail products. They are interchangeable dentistry and nail teching, including down to the drill bits. As a matter of fact, some of my supplies come from my dentist because he loves me so much that he gave me a stash of stuff that I could use, including bits, believe it or not. So those two professions are semi-interchangeable. All right, so that one I am satisfied with. Again, if you have OCD, don't overthink it because you're just going to make it worse. Oh snap, I forgot I'm building a nail. Or a tip, anyway. Oh, that's going to be fun to watch me do that on my non-dominant hand. Yo, Cindy, if you're still on here, do you have to deal with those floods and those flood waters? I think I saw something on the news about flooding in Texas. Is that where you're at, or you're good where you're at? All right. Oops. Honestly, doing your nails, y'all, it's what you want to do. It doesn't have to be perfect any kind of way. As long as you get the basic foundations down of understanding what nails are about, whatever you choose to do, just do so safely and know the products that you're using. Make sure they're reputable and you can find them with ingredients listed on the package. Just saying. All right. I completely forgot that I have to build nails, so I'm gonna pull out my nail form. And me and my dumb self are gonna do this after realizing that I should have dry hands, but whatever. We'll figure it out. Alright, so I need to create a form so that I can rebuild this middle nail real quick. I'm not doing it fancy. I'm just doing it for the sake of doing it. For the culture. Ooh, ooh. I hate these things. I hate nail forms, y'all. They bother me. They never want to sit proper. And they always come apart. But it's also, I think, my sticky on the form. That's the problem. Alright, here we go. Nail form is secure. Again, this will be funny to watch because I'm doing it with my non-dominant. I don't generally work well with my non-dominant. And I truly, truly hope you can hear me if you are still on here because Lord knows. Okay. That's not how that was supposed to go. So don't watch nothing. Okay, that definitely wasn't supposed to go like that. Okay? Don't do what I just did. This is what I was supposed to do. So all I'm doing is laying down the acrylic, oops, over the form where it attaches to my natural nail so that they connect. That is always step number one. Now you can also like I said, shape it with a bit. But what's most important is to make sure it's connecting to your natural nail, which this one is. Alright, oops, I'm gonna come back in with a little bit more. Don't need it to be super long. It's actually kind of too wet. But you see that little bulky bulk? You see that? That hump? Do the hump to hump. Alright, we're gonna fix that. And this is why I say stable your finger or stable your hand. Because if you don't, you'll be bouncing all over the place and you won't get it right, and then you'll be upset. Nobody needs to be upset when they're doing their nails. Nobody. You can use the form and how well you can see through the product to determine how thick it is. And believe it or not, that is how you build a nail. Well, that's how I'm building this one, and I'll end up shaping it into place. Anybody else have allergies? My kids are dealing with some serious allergies, man. That stuff is not nice. This is completely unnecessary, but as I said, I'm extra and I'm OCD. So all I'm doing is actually making it more than I need it to be so I can be absolutely certain when I shape it and file it back down, it will all come together. So it looks weird, yes, I know, but it's not. It's going to be fine. You'll see when we shape it out if you're watching through. All right. So I will shape that in a second. And oh Lord, I gotta do another one because look, hi baby, welcome back. Cindy was looking for you, but I don't know if she's still here because I can't even see who's online. So I'm gonna just say what up. So with this one, it's literally just like a thumb correction. I don't even really need the form to be properly done in any kind of way because I'm not using it to build a nail. I'm literally using it to um, help me uh, reshape those edges that are missing. So Yeah, she said she was doing her nails. I think she couldn't hear over the file that she was using or something like that. But, I appreciate y'all for your support. Honestly, it means a lot to me. I don't really do this type of stuff. So, to come on a live and to feel your support means a lot. Trust me, you don't even know. I said, girls gotta get a new phone. All right, so I'm literally using the form to hold space. There's a gas leak today in my neighborhood, y'all. That shit was scary. You could smell it like from far. It's really freaky. All right. Yeah, it was scary. What kind of stuff do you need to buy to do your nails? Tell me what's up because maybe you can get an alternative. You don't need a lot, like I was saying earlier, you can get a lot of this stuff at like your local store, like a Sally's. They got stuff. I don't even remember all of the American stores, so forgive me if I don't say, the popular ones or whatever, but I just know that one because they also have them in Canada and I've seen people buy products from there. And actually, when I first started out, before I could buy from the professional stores, I bought from there. So it's just an option that I was mentioning. But what do you need? Don't make me send you a care package now. Gel X tips and polygel. Which Gel X tips do you like? Is that the Apre one? The Apre one? I have like triple, triple, triple XL size because I did a fashion show for somebody and they wanted me to do nails. Oh, see, that's the other thing about doing nails, y'all. It's not just about like personal clients, eh? There's other jobs out there, aka fashion shows, aka public events. There's so many options. There are just so many. It's not limited to just being in a salon or just doing nails for you know clients. It can turn into so many things. I have a post either on my Instagram or something where I did nails that met like somebody famous and shook hands. I was like, those are my nails that shook hands. Felt good though. Still, I'm not gonna lie. I even did a sneaker set, a customized sneaker set for somebody, and it for someone my friend's wedding, and it ended up in a magazine. So you never know, man. All right, so I think I'm satisfied with that. Short, medium length, yeah. It's usually where I keep it because it's functional, depending on what I got going on, but it's usually functional. And they usually grow really fast too. That's the other thing. When people overlay their natural nails, they don't realize it, but sometimes it grows faster just because of the care and maintenance it was getting. All right. So, one thing when you're doing nails, I hope you guys can hear this. I'm going to try to do this close. I don't know if you can hear that. Click, click, click. That's how you know if a nail is dry. Let me turn the fan off. That may help. Hold on. Ooh, snap. Okay, listen. Ah. It'll sound better when I take these stupid forms off my hands. But that sound right there is how you know your nails are dry. Hold on. That's a dry nail. That's why you heat up your nail liquid, because you want it to dry quick, fast like that, so you don't take forever long waiting for it to dry so you could deal with it. So, bam, boom. Like, I know it looks messy. I know it looks like, oh my gosh, but I will file it back out and make this my new tip. Might be a little thick, but I'll manage. Still waiting on that to dry. You can hear it, thank you, because I can't hear my sound. I had to turn it down. I was getting an echo between the computer, because I'm trying to watch while I'm doing the live. So between the computer and the background noise, I wasn't sure. But there's also, like I said, when I started, it was like a click, 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 click sound. I don't know where it's coming from. It's driving me nuts, but hopefully it's not too bad. But yeah, when you want to do extensions, look, you could do them like this. You don't always have to do tips, because tips pop off. And you know I don't like tips? I'm going to tell you. When you put tips on, if they're not shaped properly, or if you don't match them up properly, when you glue them down, there's going to be a little gap in that area. Let me show you. I'm not knocking them though. Don't get it wrong. Or don't get me wrong. I'm not knocking tips. Let me see. What can I use as a quick demonstration? Oh, okay. Here's a quick demonstration. Let's pretend this was a tip. And when you put it on top of the nail, if you don't align it right, then it will leave a gap. It'll leave a little gap. And when it leaves that gap, that leaves air and bubbles and water and all the stuff to get in. So then when it lifts off or it pops off, it's because all of that stuff got in. That's why I don't necessarily like doing tips, because it's sitting on top of something. Whereas with an extension like this, it's like attached to my nail. So like I extended my nail by adding a little, I don't know how, nah, you know what I'm trying to say. Anyways, and look, it's not like it's gonna come off. It's not like it's, it's set. So that's my replacement tip. And that's how I do it without doing with the glue and stuff, because glue over time will wane, only because glue over time will wane because of water and stuff like that. And I just realized I didn't even set my setting down. Hold on. Right. Hi. I can't believe I just put myself on camera and I'm looking jackety jack. So what's up? Again, thank you for whomever is still on here. I appreciate it and I'm grateful for it. And I'm almost done, so yeah, we're gonna finish off these nails. I know the camera's really jacked up. Man, why am I never prepared for these things? Never, ever. Ooh, bad girl. Maybe that's a little bit better, but anyhow. When you finish your application, like close up your stuff, put it away. There's no need for any of it to sit around. You're not using it. Clean it up, put it away. Clean as you go. So while you work. I am excited for the weekend because I am getting the opportunity to relax with no children for at least 5 days. At least 5. What? Because they gone with daddy. And mama gets a break. Because mama needs a break. Clean as you go. That's something that's important to do as you're working. You don't want stuff all around the place all the time. You don't want nothing collecting dust unnecessarily. You don't want stuff to just fall into your clean workspace. So clean as you go. Have a spot for stuff. All right. Let's roll this back to the Let me take, well, that's the sound. Click, click, click. That clickety click click means I'm dry. And you can see I kind of gave myself that rounded corner. It's not perfectly dry though, but I'll fix it. I have been doing nails since forever and a day, but I became a professional in 2018. After I was on maternity leave, I wanted to do something because I was bored. Like, I love my baby, I love my kids, but I was bored as hell, and I was like, I need something to do. So I decided to become a nail tech because I said, why not? Oh, wait, hold up, my bad. Let me fix this. Sorry, we got nails and chill right now. So, um, what ended up happening was I was bored. I was home on mat leave, and I said, you know what? What can I do to give myself an advantage, run my own business, work for myself, be my own boss? Because sometimes you just don't want to work for people. Also, I've been in situations where I have been laid off. So you don't ever want that to happen either. So you always want to have a backup. Um, but yeah, no, I was bored. So I was like, I always do nails. I'm always doing my nails. Why don't I just do nails? And somebody else was like, well, just go to school and become a nail tech. And I was like, oh yeah, duh. So I took the opportunity being on maternity leave because I'm already off of work anyways here in Canada. You get a year. Sorry, America. We ain't about that 6 week life because you don't even know your baby in 6 weeks. But here in Canada, you start with 12 months and you are welcome to extend it to 18 months if you choose. And yes, the government will pay you as you're off, providing you earn the hours to um, have that time off. So I use my year. The course that we have here is only 6 months. As a matter of fact, if you look right here, you will see my diploma from the school that I went to because I always keep that up for when clients come through. But they all know that I'm certified. But 6 months, 6 months or something around that time frame that I took to do the course, get licensed, and then I decided to run my own business because why not? It's always beneficial to write taxes off. Just put it up. But yeah, it was worth it. And again, it depends on where you live at. In America, the rules are different, very different. With regards to depending on what state you live in, how many hours you got to put in, how licensing works, how you got to check in with your state regulators and all that stuff. In Canada, it's not as complicated, but you still need to make sure you are professionally trained because you are working with people's live skin, you are working with blood, you are working with germs, you are working with all kind of stuff, and you want to make sure you know what you're doing so that you do not injure yourself or the client in the process. But no, just learn those things if you're gonna do nails. All right, let's get back to it. What I did, what I did. Ooh, okay, what I did. So, all right, sorry, y'all. So, first thing I'm gonna do is reshape these nails that this one, well, mainly this one. And I'm gonna do that one first because I need to use the different bits. I need to use this bit, what I started with. And I use this one because it's the one that takes down the bulk. Remember, this is the one that can be used on your enhancements, your acrylic and your gel. The other one can't is used for your natural nail, so I can't use it, so I'm going to use this. And the purpose of this is simply to take down this bulk. And remember, I'm working with my non-dominant, so don't laugh at me because this is not easy. And the reason why people will use the e-file is just for this reason. I was able to create a whole entire nail, and now I can basically shape it to how I want it. And I didn't have to use a tip. Remember, we're not over here striving for perfection. We're striving for a proper job. Oh, your baby's on the spectrum. I think you said she's 3. She's turning 4 or something. I remember you saying something about her getting ready to go to school, and you all know what you're gonna do. But you know what? Actually, I've worked with spec ed friends before, and real talks. It's just a matter of finding your baby's language, and I don't know if she's verbal, nonverbal, or what level of the spectrum she's at. Be patient with her. Give her time. She learns different. It doesn't mean she's different. She just learns different. And sometimes I find a lot of kids with ASD are just frustrated because they can't verbalize or express themselves and what they want. And because of that, things get misinterpreted or their needs get um, unmet. And that's what causes a lot of that, what people say is aggression or anger. But it's just learning her language. But you know your baby, she good. She gonna get along just fine. Oh, it's her happy birthday to you. Wait, let me sing the baby a song real quick. Happy birthday to you. Cha cha cha. Happy birthday, Riri Exo's baby. Happy birthday to you. Cha cha cha. Oh, that's beautiful. She's 4 already. Doesn't time fly though? Honestly, when you have these kids, man, nothing is like short term. Everything is quick, quick, quick. That's amazing. Your brother is high functioning autistic? He's probably like um, Asperger's level. I know a lot of autistic friends that are very high functioning. They are they know way more than some folks, but it's just their nature. Never discount a folk just because you know they got a label. And never discount a friend just because they got a label. All right, so I've essentially shaped this back to how I want it. No, it's not perfect, but remember, I'm coming through with a hand file in a second. So I'll take care of that and clean it up. But in the meantime, I got a nail back. And that is how you build back your nails. When you break it, and you gotta fix it. And remember, I was talking about that apex. If you don't have that, you're not gonna have strength in that nail. So you want to make sure you have that going for you when you do your nails. All right. Aw, thanks. Happy birthday, boo. I hope you have a good birthday and you make sure you have your cake and don't let nobody smash your face in your cake because you can just smash them, okay? Don't let them smash you. It's not nice. And make sure you have all your treats and mommy and daddy give you all the love. That is so sweet. I hope she really does have a good day. Just wipe off some of this dust. 4 is a big age. That's when they start transitioning into young adulthood, and you have to be like, "Oh my God, what happened to me?" And they talk back to you and they call you by your name, and then you hear them say stuff, and you're like, "I created this little person. What?" All right. So all I'm doing, honestly, is just quickly sealing my cuticle line by using the e-file like this. See, I'm going over that cuticle right there. That's just called sealing. And basically all it's doing is making sure that acrylic that I applied doesn't have no lift space underneath. And then I'm just gonna gently tickle across the top as like to smooth out any of those bumpity bumps, which there really wasn't, because if you lay your acrylic right, you won't have to worry about the bumps. And that's another reason why I like to do small amounts versus large ones, or a small application process versus the big beads, because then you don't have uh, smoothing issues, or you don't have to smooth out as much necessarily. Because y'all saw when I showed you the side angle, the profile angle, it wasn't bumpity bump bump. It was smooth like butter. Them just be careful at them parks, okay? Them make sure they're not public, please. Those splash pads. But that's sweet though. What kind of cake does she like? And what's her favorite color? And are you gonna do her nails? You know they have polish for kids that is peelable, peel offable. I bought some once for my niece. I bought it at Walmart. Came with all the Disney characters on it. And it's kid safe because you know kids put their hands in their mouth all the time. It's a nice little gift set that I got for her. You know what? Enjoy it. Enjoy every moment of it because when she's 12 going on 35, I don't know how you girl moms do it, but when she's 12 going on 35, you're going to be like, I wish you were 4. That's what they tell me. Maybe your baby will be different. Them hormones, boy, they be kicking in. All right. As you can see, this, well, maybe you can't, but this one's looking a little bit thick. I'm not even stressing it because honestly, I just want it to be done. And work around it. And you see how I'm running the e-file? I'm not digging into my nail. I'm using it at the same angle as my nail. So look, same angle, don't dig, same angle. Okay, that's important because if not, you'll give yourself rings of fire and you'll give yourself sensitivity. And if you damage this part here is where your nail grows from. So imagine if you damage it, your nail is not gonna is gonna probably grow back messed up. So be careful with that, okay? All right, I'm almost done, thank God, because I'm tired. Tried to time this out right because I'm like, tomorrow's the presidential debate. I don't know how many people are on that, but I am not trying to have that interfere with my process. I am glad that this time when I came on the live, it went like direct. I didn't mess it up like I did the last time. Apparently, when you pre-schedule your lives, if you have issues and you come out of it, it like cancels it. So I am trying to learn how to do all of these things. It's fun though. I'm not gonna lie, I'm having mad fun. Cool, what frosting? Favorite color? Blue is my favorite color. Go ahead, girl. Look, everything blue. Everything blue, blue, blue. Aw, she had pink and purple. Aw, that's so sweet. I'm glad. You know what? It doesn't take a lot. Kids want your time. They don't want your things. So it doesn't take a lot. So that's beautiful that she got to enjoy her time with her fans. That's all they need. They don't need no big ass parties. They don't need no Disney Magic Kingdoms. They just need their parents, some good food, some simple fun, and that's it. That's all kids need. Alright, so clean that up. Alright, so this side is, yep, that's my blue twin. Alright, so this hand is done basically. The last thing I'm going to do is come through with a file, but I've cleaned it up, made it look decent, and let's finish off this side. I work with the e-file in reverse, so um, it's a little bit, again, weird, but when you work with your opposite hand, some people work with it in reverse, some people work with it in the same direction. It's just how they move their hands. But me, I have to work with it in reverse because I'm not that skilled. I'm gonna call her Riri Blue. Riri Blue, happy birthday to you. Sometimes people will apply the acrylic, and when they come through with this part to do the finish filing or the cleanup, they will press so hard that they'll just take off all of what they just applied. That's why it's okay to apply a little bit more, but not too much more, because you don't want to be coming back to clean it up and then take away everything that you just, all the work that you just did because you're filing it too much. That's very possible, so just know that. You don't really need to go heavy when you're doing this cleanup part. It's legit just like surface cleaning and surface smoothing. So don't press down too hard. Let the e-file do its job. And that's simply by allowing it to cross over the nail like so and let it run. Don't press down hard. Don't force it. Let it do its, let it roll. Just let it roll. And that's where a lot of people end up getting themselves hurt because they be pressing too hard. And you don't need so much pressure. You just need a little bit. And when in doubt, use the hand file because 90% of the time you're less likely to hurt yourself using a hand file than an e-file. But sometimes the e-file just makes the job that much faster. And that's why people use it. All right. This is the last one. Remember, we used the form to fill in this corner. Told y'all I hate this nail the most. I usually come through with the hand file on this one because I can never turn my hand properly enough to get this one right, and it drives me insane. So instead of stressing myself out, I just come through with the hand file on this one because it just makes it easier. Alright. Oops. Gentle, gentle surface strokes. like so. All right. I think for Riri Blue, I might have to do a blue color in my nails today. All right, last part of this process, I'm just gonna make sure I come through and finish shaping it. Like I said, I already know my nails are not perfect. I don't care. For me, I think it's more of a maintenance thing than it really is a aesthetics thing. Like perfect. Like it doesn't have to be perfect. It just needs to be done. Cause I don't know. I'm a person, I can't walk on the road with my nails not looking proper. Cause I make nail contact before I make eye contact, and I am not touching no cruddy hands. No thanks. Alright. See, running the file across the surface of your nail like this is doing what the e-file was just doing. Um, it's just if you have a lot of product, it will take longer, and that's why most people use the e-file. But this is the same way that you are able to come through and kind of surface clean that nail or give that nail a finish to the surface before you apply any type of other gel or whatever. So this is what you would basically be doing, gently going across the surface top like this. You would think it shouldn't matter, right? But people be wildin'. I like having narrow nails, but I hate it also because narrow nails are more prone to break because they don't really have that width structure. So, ooh, that's not looking good. And when you see me doing like this, I am legit going in one direction. I'm not going back and forth. I'm going in one direction. Um, and I just find it helps me to better shape the nail. Like if I go back and forth, I don't know, I just lose that. It just doesn't, I don't know. It's like brushing your hair in the same way or the same direction. It's looking kind of eggy, but I'll work with it because I will use nail art. Use the dip method. I used to do the dip for people, but I think it just took so long because you like, okay, here's the thing. You still gotta, no matter what method you choose, gel, gel, acrylic, dip, any of those things require that prep process to be done. So between the prep process and then doing the dip in between every layer, for me, it was just too time consuming. And to be honest with you, people don't know dip powder is actually just acrylic. It's just ground finer, but dip powder is acrylic. I have dip powders that I use as acrylic right now. Um, so I was like, most people would do the dip because they don't want the smell of the nail liquid, and it's the alternative. But essentially, you're like just doing it in smaller doses because it's in the little container, the little bottle. But dip powder is acrylic, just a finer grind of it, and the process of applying the adhesive and then applying the dip and also I never let people actually dip because of sanitation. Like if you're doing your own nails, that's different. But when you have clients, like they can't dip into the same pot with their fingers. That's not sanitary. So that's why a lot of salons try to avoid the dip, or if they do, you might notice they'll pour the powder onto, or I hope they're pouring the powder onto your hand, um, and not just doing it from the jar, dipping your finger into the jar. Because if your finger is going in there and 50 other people's finger is going in there, that's what I'm talking about, sanitation. So that's a no. That's not supposed to happen. They can they can scoop it on, that's different, and then throw out the excess that doesn't make it. But that's not something you reuse or share because it's not sanitary. All right, so I'm satisfied with that. I'm gonna make it work. When I got more time, I will probably do most of my nail jobs more or less go like this because I don't have leisure time to just sit and do them. So I don't stress about perfection as long as they're shaped in the right direction. Polygel is a hybrid of gel and acrylic. So it's like it's like gel base that you need water to push around to manipulate, right? I have some right here, actually, right beside me. So it still needs a liquid to be manipulated, but it needs a light to dry. So it's a hybrid. It's it doesn't have the nail liquid in it that will automatically make it pure, which is why you need the light to dry it, but it needs a liquid to be moved around and molded. If I'm not mistaken, the liquid, it might even just be alcohol. Um, so I think polygel is a safe bet for someone who wants like an in-between. Actually, that's what I should have told Cindy. Cindy should know polygel is a good option too. But it's just a matter of, do you want to do the light? Because you're doing both light and liquid. It just depends on how much time you got. And there's different brands of polygel. Like I have the gelish polygel and I have the IBD control polygel. Those are actually some of the originals. So they've also changed over the years, like formula and stuff. Um, Different companies have different. I know this one girl that's on YouTube, long hair pretty nail. She even came out with her own poly gel, but now she calls it patty gel. So I mean, it's a good alternative, but it still again requires liquid and like a base. But it's a good learning. But also, because it's in between now, it's not like it doesn't like flow like gel. So some gels are hard gels and some gels are soft gels. The hard gels are usually the ones that when you put it down, it doesn't move. It stays where it's at until you move it, right? And then soft gels are like soak off gels. Well, soft gels come in two types now: soak off, which is what you use like your shellac, and then there's also builder gel that's soak off. that is used, builder gel that's soak off, that's used to build nail extensions like what I did with this finger here. So depending on what you're doing would determine which one you use, but they're all essentially made of the same things. It's just how it. So think of water being able to be fluid or solid, kind of the same idea with gel and acrylic, but they're all essentially the same thing. Gel and acrylic are the same. It's just their application processes are different. Oh, this is gonna have to go way, way down. No, 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 no. This can't go on. I'm taking this all the way down. All right, because I don't want no long nail. Okay. Yeah, a lot of people don't realize that the products essentially, but that's the other issue, right? So now you go to the salon and you want to get an acrylic set, they're charging you one price. You want to get a gel set, they're charging you another price. You want to get a dip set, they're charging you another price, when in actuality it's kind of all the same thing. So why are you charging me so many different prices? Then they try to tell you, oh, get hard gel because it's better, or it's no, it's not. And if you research the products, it's not hard to tell. Just look at the companies that sell them, and they will give you the breakdown of their products, because there's nothing to hide if you're selling proper stuff. There's really nothing to hide if you're doing proper stuff. So there's no reason for them to be charging all the different prices when essentially most services take about the same amount of time, and it's basically the same products. That was another reason why I kind of started doing my own thing, because I was like, why are you robbing people? How are you going to be charging people this much to do A, B, C, and D when you shouldn't? It's the same thing. And honestly, I don't know how they manage. $75? What? Oh, snap. Like, were they extremely long? Or was there something special that made them 75? I mean, no, that's not, my price list doesn't go that high. It's one thing to overcharge people. It's another thing to know how much I actually pay for my products and then overcharge people. So I'm a person who charges fair pricing, because I know that I don't need $75 from one client to replenish my stock when it's over. Honestly, I don't believe in that. So $75, that's maybe including labor rates. I don't know, but that's kind of high. I don't do full sets for that price. Also, I don't know. I just that's crazy to me. The change came when popular people started making nails that thing. So then everybody now, when they get them done, are gonna be okay. Like, I'm not knocking any of the people I speak on, so I'm just talking about how the industry changed, right? So, like for example, Cardi B, she has her personal nail tech. She be doing all the fancy bling and things, and then people see that and they, because they don't know what the actual pricing is, they're just going to pay because they want nails like hers. They don't know how much time it's going to take. They don't know what went into it. So I mean, that's how prices got jacked, right? Like, it started becoming this not mainstream thing, but now when celebrities took it to that level, it gave techs the right to charge their prices. And I'm not actually, if the quality of the product meets the job, I'm not saying it's not going to cost that much, right? Because, for example, if somebody wants like crystals from me, I'm not giving them backyard crystals. I am giving them Swarovski. So, alright, almost done. That OCD will get you, boy. I tell you, y'all, be careful with that ish. Don't let it ruin your life. Alright, let me take another look. See, they are not perfectly perfect, but I can live with them. Just an overlay. Alright. Alright, this works for me. So I'm just gonna finish the dusting off process. I want it all gone. Give them a nice little scrub a dub dub once you're done. Now, because I just did that application and I just roughed up the surface with that file, technically, if I was to use gel polish on my nails, I don't have to go in with a base coat. I could just go in straight with the color and the top coat. And the reason is because acrylic is, hold on a second, hold on. Let me get this glue first. Because of the way acrylic and gel are formulated, once they are laid out, you can actually go straight on top and um, apply your products. So you don't, because it's all the same, right? The gel polish is the same as the gel builder, as the same as the acrylic, is all of that same. So you don't have to wait to put no down base. You can put your polish on top of this base without putting a base coat first. Okay, so know that tip. That is important because some people put thick applications of gel polish on their hands, and they don't need to. They just need to do a thin one. All right, let me grab my liner because I'm doing this for Riri Blue today. Riri Blue's birthday, and we're gonna throw on a blue for Riri Blue. And I am not going to do, I'm not gonna do a base coat. I am going to go strictly with a top coat. Um, let's see, what can we do for blue? I'm a swirls girl. I like my lines simple, swirly lines. So I don't need to do no fancy nails. Nail art is a thing, y'all, because depending on how your mind works, you might see it as, oh, it has to be this type of perfect, or it has to be that, and it's like, nail art is just whatever it is. Do what floats your boat. And don't be upset with yourself if it's not perfect. Because unless you got hours, and I mean hours to design, a lot of those intricate designs they're not 5 minutes, 5 minute do times. They're like long processes. All right, I'm gonna do some gold and some white. You gotta be able to work single-handed, and I always design one hand at a time, simply because I don't want to go back and forth. It's just too much work. Swirl lines are an easy go-to if you just want to give yourself a quick design. Excuse me. They're versatile, they're quick, they're easy, and they work. Excuse me. I'm using the wrong one. And this is YouTube music in the background if it does have a sound, because I don't know if y'all can hear it. But don't be digging me, okay? On my live. Like, that's not nice. It's your platform. I'll be paying for my premium. Same. All right. Learning which liner brush works for you will definitely help you when it comes to doing line work because I mean it depends on the size. I have one liner brush that's long, one that's short, and it can really when you're working with your nail art, it can determine how your lines turn out. So just know which one you want to use when you're doing work. You might use more than one, um, but just make sure when you're doing your nail art. Again, if you're striving for perfection, it may not always happen, so don't feel no ways about it. What's important is that you keep trying and you practice and you put in that work, and you will get better as you put in the time. Rome was not built in one day, and if it was, find me those carpenters so I can have my house built right fast. I'm going to refill this top coat because it's empty. And here's the other thing about nails too. Again, they don't always have to be perfect. Just make them somewhat presentable. You meet people all the time. You meet and greet all the time. You don't have to have them super fancy, but I mean, don't make them look twice of your hands only because of how chapped they look. I bumped into dude, or I met dude at an event for work, and he held out his hand to shake mine, and I'm like, under his nails were dirty. Like, and that's the thing. Like, I don't knock it because, like, if he was maybe a mechanic or somebody that works in a trade, I would expect that, right? But he was a professional, and in his profession, I don't see how your hands can get that dirty. So I declined his handshake and gave him a head nod instead because I have no shame. And I straight let him know, yo, um, is something wrong with your hands? Because they can't touch mine until we figure that out. Don't feel no ways about it. Do what you gotta do. But I make nail contact before I make eye contact on any given situation. So make of that what you will. I am trying to make this a thing. I feel like anytime it's time for me to do my nails, it's an opportunity for me to get on here and build community, meet people, answer questions, help support the cause. Anybody that you know is interested in building their nail skills or learning things that's not a professional that wants to know, I'm here to answer those questions. And all of that is simply because I'd rather make sure I share the knowledge that I have than gatekeep it. Because gatekeeping ain't helping nobody. And it's not like you're taking my money. Honey, my clients are loyal. In the best way. I like to double top coat, sorry. Um, but yeah, no. There's nothing to hide. There's nothing to that's not shareable. And there's nothing that I can't share with you that will take away from me. So I just feel like the more knowledge that's out there, the more it'll improve practices, the better it will help for people to be aware of what they should and should not be accepting when they go to get their nails done and what they should and shouldn't stand for. I have a short where I even ask people if something bad does go wrong, how often do you go back and get it checked or get it fixed or hold the people accountable that did the work? And it's surprising because about 95% don't do it. Now I understand why you paid your money. You should be getting the service that you believe you deserve. Well, the service that comes with the money you paid. This reminds me, I want to do a Q&A or question and answer about, sorry, not a Q&A. I want to do a session about people running out on their nail techs and leaving them destitute and high and dry and all of the disrespect that be happening out there. My clients are vetted for a reason. Nobody should have to deal with that. Nobody should be dying over nails, folks. Like, let's think about that for a minute. Dying over nails because you didn't want to pay a bill. There's a guy that posts clients that be messing around when he does work. And this one girl had, I think he took her sneakers. And they came in, the mother came in to try and get the girl's sneakers. The man said, pay me my money. They didn't want to pay him. The grandmother came in and was like, let me get my granddaughter's sneakers. The man said, pay me my money. They didn't want to pay him. The father came in talking about, oh, give me back the girl sneakers. He was like, pay me my money. The mother was, no, sorry, I apologize. The grandmother came first. The grandmother paid him. The man, the mother, the husband, listen, the girl's father came in. So I guess the mother's son, listen, the whole friggin' family went up in that issue. Okay, the mother's son came back talking about my mother paid you too much. Let me get back my money. And he was like, are you joking right now? You are asking me to pay you back money that I am owed for a service that I did that I wasn't even initially paid for. And that's probably why people be charging some high prices, because that's some bullshit. Oh, thank you. This is my Riri Blue. This is for your daughter because you're tuned in and I want to show her some love. So let her know I did Riri Blue stripes. No, I did Riri Blue swirls for your daughter's birthday. The last live I did, the guy that chose my nail color. And yes, men be on here too, so don't be hating, y'all. He chose red, and I hate, that's not my favorite color. Red is my least favorite of all the colors on the block. But the man chose red, and because he tuned in for my entire live, what was I going to say? No? Of course I was going to do what he said. I could be submissive. So like I said, when working with swirls or line art, don't stress yourself out. It's almost never perfect, and that is okay. And what's up, Cindy? Welcome back. Oh, Cindy, I was telling Riri earlier, listen, an alternative if you don't want to do gel or acrylic on your 11-year-old, poly gel is a good alternative. It's kind of like a mix between acrylic and gel, like acrylic and gel, and it applies easy and it cures with a light. So like a lamp like this, but that's an alternative, or dip powder is an alternative for the 11-year-olds. Okay, so I just wanted to make sure I mentioned that because we were talking about that earlier and we weren't sure if you were on or if you, because we know you were doing nails and stuff. So just know that, okay? I wanted to make sure I pass that along to you. That's an option. Polygel or dip powders. Red nails or pink is your favorite color. I'm a pink and blue. I'm a hot pink and baby blue kind of girl. Or any type of blue, really. Cobalt blue, navy blue, royal blue, teal blue, tan blue, Tiffany blue. Give it to me. I like a blue. But the gentleman that tuned in on my last live, he was the one that selected my red. And actually, the last live I did was a set that I just took off. I am never. This is my non-dominant hand, so it's not gonna be perfect. It's not even gonna be cute. I don't know how I even get the design on there, but I just figure freehand works. Never perfect. And as I was mentioning earlier, I did not put down a base coat before applying this polish. And the reason is because you don't have to. When you apply an acrylic or a gel, after you have done your finish file, like you've roughed up the surface where you saw me going over it after I did the application, that rough surface is okay to adhere gel or gel polish to. And it's because, again, it's the same, it's all made up of the same thing, so it kind of sticks to itself. So once you've roughed up the surface, you are able to go ahead and apply a gel polish on top without putting a base coat. That's why you see it looks matte and then shiny, because I did not apply a base coat prior to putting on this polish or this design. So I'm gonna finish up with the last couple swirls. I think I do this swirl a lot. I gravitate very much to this. Very, very frequent. I like it. And I'm not even trying to make it like any type of perfect. I'm legit just moving through it. Whatever it ends up being, it ends up being. My non-dominant hand is not very steady. I have a lot of the shakes. Also, you can kind of use it like, let's say I didn't do the blue line perfectly and it kind of streaked a little bit. You can use these lines to help kind of cover up those imperfections. And then it like creates its own little design. So it never has to be absolutely perfect. I am satisfied with that. Oopsies. Almost done, y'all. So yeah, try dip powder. You can even try polygel for your 11-year-old. Both of those can be done as overlays on her natural nails, and it's not too excessive, and then they can grow with her nails as she grows them out. She doesn't have to like do any kind of special type of upkeep. And the only other thing is sometimes refilling dip nails can be a little bit challenging for some. Um, but again, it's all about like knowledge. Just get yourself prepared with the knowledge if you're going to do that process. My non-dominant hand is whack, yo. Something about stroking gel polish on your nail is very therapeutic and satisfying. Also, just another tip, depending on how long you wear your nails, the shape will, there are certain shapes that better suit length. So for example, Riri says she likes coffin. Coffin looks good mainly on medium, not so much on super long, and not necessarily on short. Whereas stiletto looks better long than it does short. Oval looks good for all lengths. Square is probably better for short than long or medium than long. And what's the other one? There's another one somewhere in front of you. But depending on the length of the nail can determine the shape. But everybody's best shape is always what your natural nail shape is. So for example, look at your cuticle, and depending on how the shape of your cuticle goes, the upper part of your nail should match that as well. So if you have square cuticles, you're better off with square nails. If you have rounded cuticles, you're better off with rounded edges, rounded nails. So that's something to consider when trying to decide your shape. How long is it? And that will help build a better foundation for your nails when you're doing them. All right, first top coat's down, second one's about to go, and then we're all finished, y'all. This has been an entertaining time for me. I am really grateful for those that tuned in. This has been, um, it's a learning experience. It's a learning curve. Um, but you watched me do an overlay, and I'm grateful for you for being here to do that with me. It's not hard. It doesn't have to be complicated. Keep it simple. Oh, girl, yes, thank you. I'm gonna start selling them soon. Listen, I'll send you a holler. If you got your email on your page, I will find it and I will probably email you. But girl, I'm making these now. Part of my expansion. I was gonna do a whole live about it and make them while I was doing the live, but it's just a reminder, we're all blessed. We gotta remember to see the God in people when we're dealing with people, even the evil ones. Still God in them too, unfortunately. It's hard to see sometimes because you know their actions aren't exactly the greatest, but it reminds me that I'm blessed and so are the people that encounter me. And it keeps me grounded. I'm doing that in the word. There's a line, be still. Sometimes we all get in. I see you. I'm going to find that email. But sometimes we all get into, when I email you, I'm going to ask you, I know you're from Houston, but I'm probably going to ask you, like, what's your background, your family background? Unless you're, like, all American all the way, generation and generation. But, because I use colors for my bracelets. That's why blue is my favorite. Blue is in there. But, oh gosh, I lost my train of thought. Expanding my business, and bracelets are a part of that. And again, it's a simple thing because it's a reminder that we are all blessed and we got to deal with people proper. And I can't be blessed and you're not blessed. Everybody's blessed, but how do we deal with those blessings, and how do we bring those back? All right, Miss Cindy, I see you. I'm gonna grab your email from your page because as a matter of fact, let me go jump on my other page right now and let me pull you up. I should be following you. I believe I subscribed to you from like 34 nails. Nails by Cindy. Yeah. Okay, I wasn't. My bad. I met with you on another page before. Oh, look at those blue nails. Girl, those are nice. Oh, you encapsulated those hearts? Oh, look at the seashell. That's pretty. All right. Let me see. I got you. I got you. I got you. Um, Cindy. So I'm gonna make sure I send you those details. All right. Thank you. So I'm done. Um, because the top coat that I use is non-inhibiting, I don't need to do wipe the inhibition layer. There isn't one. But what I do need to do is what I tell all of y'all to do. Just oil my damn cuticles. Because when you apply alcohol or you apply acetone, it will dry your skin out. And as you can see, I'm pretty dry. And I ain't trying to go out like that. So thank you so much. They are, I'm going to call them Riri Blues because Riri's daughter, her birthday is today. She turned 4 and her favorite color is blue. And she was watching for a little bit. And she has some cake. I want some cake. So because that's her favorite color and she was tuned in, I decided to make my nails blue for her. Thank you so much. But that's an overlay, yo. And it wasn't hard. And it's very simple. And anybody can do it. And anybody that wants to do it with me when I do it is welcome to join along. I always set a reminder before I do this live. And I can tell you what the tools you need are. And I can help you get it if you want to get it. But here we go. Let me stand up and see how I can do this. Bring in this light. Is this gonna work? Alright, so did my thumbs. Gave myself a clean overlay. This is a little thick, but it's okay. I'll make it work. So is this one. I usually do my middle finger sticker anyway, just because they, for some reason, are the ones that get banged up the most. But yeah, we did that. Quick little simple design. These are going to be called Riri Blues on my live because it's for Riri's daughter. Happy birthday to her. But yeah, that's how you basically do an overlay, and that's how I do my nails, y'all. It's not hard. Anybody can do it. If you really want to, you can. Whew, sorry, let me just jump back over. So, yeah, let me be. I want to close out by saying thank you for joining me on my live today. Looking kind of jacked up because it's been a long day. But we were able to get through it. I did my nails. I was able to give them a simple little refresh. Ooh, that light's not helping. Let's see. I was able to give them a refresh because it was time and they were jacked up and they were cracked and they were practically broken, so they needed to get done. So that was done. I appreciate anybody that tuned in and watched me through this live. I hope that I was able to share some gems with you or provide you with information that was helpful or conducive to somebody learning how to do nails. And I truly hope that you make an effort to do your own. And if you don't and you need some help, holla and will help you. Like, it's just that simple. So, on that note, I'm going to call it a night. Again, I appreciate you for tuning in. And until the next one, stay blessed. Peace out, y'all. Can I do it? Oh, upside down. Ooh, backwards. Bam. Peace out. Oh, how do I end it? What I gotta do? Oh, I press the X. Can you tell I ain't never do this before? Or I've done it once before and it's a struggle. Okay, now I'm saying I'm out. Peace out. Thank y'all for tuning in. Bye.